guys, so for today's vlog, it is a very special vlog since we will be having an interview with Sir John Real Bindoy. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education majored in English. He is also a graduate from NEMSO and is currently an instructor in NEMSO Tandag. He teaches subjects such as world literature and technical writing. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Due to conflict in location and his schedule. So because of this, we will just have a virtual interview. Let's watch. Hello, Sir. Hello, sir. Good evening, Sir John Real.
Good evening. Is it okay to I just close my camera?
Is it okay if open? Pero if you're not comfortable, I guess we could just
Ah, I should have to close my camera na lang.
okay. You prefer closer now?
Opo.
Okay. Good evening, Sir John Real. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have some insights on how to become a language teacher. And I have some curiosities or I have some questions regarding this particular field, especially from a person like you who is already experienced. I want to know, how do you adapt materials for teacher centered and learner centered approaches in your language classes? Can you give me some examples?
Okay. Thank you for that question, Miss. Your question, it's all about how am I going to adopt the what is my strategy on adopting the materials, especially in the teacher centered approaches and the learner approaches. First, we'll have to jump on the teacher centered approaches. My technique on that, or my strategies on that, is that I should have to adopt first on what I should have to plan the instructional materials that I should be applying for my students for the teacher centered approach. I should have to give direct instruction, like lesson planning on the lesson plans, the clear objectives, because objectives is very important, the structured, the timeline, and the specific content that should be covered all throughout the class. And then the second one, it is the, what is this? Focus on explaining the concepts, demonstrating the procedures step by step, providing a very clear and vivid examples for the students, and questioning the techniques. For example, preparing to check for understanding and encourage students' engagement. And for the learner centered approach, it is the same because since I have applied already the instructional planning, they have already the idea. So, since they have already the idea, they could reciprocate as well the strategy that I am applying for them. That's it.
Also, to sum it up, we have lesson planning, focus, and the technique, right?
Lesson planning. The second one is like what we call, like I am focusing on the concepts,
Okay.
expository teaching, and then the last one is well, feedbacking, questioning techniques.
Thank you, sir. That actually really makes sense, no? Um, my second question is that what have you learned about choosing and adapting materials from teaching at a secondary level? How do you use these different ideas from students and other teachers? Do you kanang do you mix it up or like just your own techniques?
You know, for me, I have really observed many instructors, professors, and teachers from DepEd. And you know, observing them, it makes me realize that I should have to really integrate various techniques because we cannot really identify in every classes there is really a different technique that you should have to apply for it because not every classes have the same capability. Other are doing their best, other are not. So there are various techniques that you should really have to put on. And what I have learned from that is to be an open-minded, to be like a door that you should have to be open as always, not to be closed. You should have to be open on the ideas that would come. You should have to welcome those new ideas because there are generations, there are a lot of like academic year that will be welcoming you. If ever that there is new idea, you would not be shocked or you will you will never experience this what we call culture shock to the classes that you will be handling. So my what is my like lesson from that is you should have to be open as always.
Thank you, sir. Being open-minded really does do great things.
Yes.
For my last question, this is my last question, sir. What do you
Okay.
think are the good and bad points of teacher-centered and learner-centered approach, and how do these approaches affect the way you adapt teaching materials?
Hello? May kalisod. Okay. For the good point of the
Local
teacher-centered
voice lang.
approach. Okay. Good point of teacher-centered approach. Is good point, Seta. First, structured learning environment. The what we call clear objectives. The lessons are planned. But this providing students with a defined path to follow. What are the expected outcomes? So that's a good point for the teacher-centered since we are the ones who will give the structured or what we call provided outcome for them. And then second one is the efficient material that will be applied for the students and the content and delivery are being like expected already for the teacher center. That's a good point. And then for the learner centered, the good point for that is the class will be having an active participation and then the class will have a relevance to the topic and then there will be as well the what we called inquiry based learning like asking question exploring engaging it will really enhance the students problem solving skills and then the learner will have to promote as well the independent thinking and the self-directed learning. That's for the teacher centered and then the learning centered.
Okay.
For the bad point, we shall have to focus. First, for the teacher centered bad point, for that is unsa man? Limited student engagement,
Number one.
passive lang kanang murag passive ang recipient of information and it will reduce the interaction the opportunities from your class and you as a teacher it will really reduce the interaction collaboration or often like what we call limited to hinder the social and communication skills development and then our the what we called or popularized one size fits all approach the murag, it does not address the diverse learning styles and the potential of the students will be behind and unchallenged for them. And the classroom management challenges. This is for the learner centered approach. The classroom management will be not consistent, one disrupted, The interaction can lead more to classroom management issues, causing off-task behavior, nakalang wala naghihimo, gipanghimo na. And then the consistency, or the consistent, it does not even maintain at all. And that teacher preparation expertise would not be effective enough. So that the time it will really the time I believe that we teacher are this what we call we have the limited time, so it will really not cover the whole time, so parang time consuming na siya. So
Mm-mm.
that's for the bad point for the learner center. Sige.
Bye-bye kaya. Thank you.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
So from our interview with Sir Bendoy, I learned that adapting materials for different instructional approaches involves a balance of structure and flexibility. In teacher-centered approaches, the teacher uses structured resources. For learner-centered approaches, the focus shifts to student engagement with flexible resources such as group projects, discussions, and other case studies, diba? And Sir Bindoy also highlighted the importance of selecting materials that actually promotes critical thinking and adapting to diverse students' needs. So, they will incorporate feedback from both students, and I also learned that while teacher-centered methods provide clear structure, they can limit creativity, whereas learner-centered methods foster engagement and personalization but require more preparation. This balance creates a dynamic and inclusive classroom environment. So, that's it for our learning and reflection in this interview. I hope that you guys have learned something, and I'll see you on the next vlog. Bye, guys!